Right now, you're probably feeling it every single time you swipe your card, fill your gas tank, or open your grocery receipt. Prices keep climbing, rent keeps rising, insurance bills keep creeping up, and your paycheck? It doesn't stretch the way it used to. If you're watching this, it's because you're not just scrolling for entertainment. You're searching for answers that affect your life, your family, and your wallet. You're wondering how much longer you can keep absorbing these higher costs without something finally giving you some breathing room. And that's exactly why today's update matters more than you might realize. Across America, families are making hard choices. Do you delay that doctor visit? Do you push back on car repairs? Do you skip certain groceries to make rent on time? These aren't luxury decisions. These are survival decisions. And when you hear the words $2,000 stimulus check, your heart probably jumps just a little. Not because you're greedy, but because you're tired. Tired of stretching dollars that don't stretch anymore? Tired of wondering if one unexpected bill could throw everything off balance? Tired of feeling like the economy is moving forward while your household struggles to keep pace? Today's video is about real relief, real timelines, and real eligibility. Not hype, not rumors, and not recycled headlines. We're breaking down exactly what this $2,000 stimulus conversation means for you, who could qualify, what the current signals are, and when money could realistically arrive if approvals move forward. And there's an important twist later in this video that most people are missing, something that could determine whether this turns into actual cash in your bank account or just another headline that fades away. So take a breath, stay locked in, because the next few minutes could impact your financial plans more than you think, and missing one detail could cost you thousands. Why stimulus talk is back on the table. If you've been wondering why stimulus discussions suddenly pop back up again, you're not alone. Just a few months ago, many people assumed direct payments were done for good. But the economy has been sending mixed signals, and lawmakers are feeling pressure from both sides. Rising household debt, slowing consumer spending, and voters demanding relief as everyday costs remain stubbornly high. When families pull back on spending, businesses slow down. When businesses slow down, hiring freezes begin. And when that happens, the entire economic engine starts losing momentum. That's why financial leaders are paying close attention to consumer stress signals like credit card balances, late payments, and emergency savings declines. These numbers are flashing caution lights. Not full crisis yet, but definitely warning territory. That's where stimulus discussions re-enter the picture. A one-time payment injects money directly into the hands of people who actually spend it on necessities, groceries, utilities, rent, medical bills. That spending supports local businesses and keeps economic activity moving. In simple terms, when your wallet gets relief, the entire economy breathes a little easier. But here's where things get interesting. The new $2,000 proposal isn't identical to previous stimulus checks. Policymakers are talking about targeted distribution instead of broad universal payments. That means not everyone may qualify this time, and that's where confusion is growing online. Some headlines make it sound like checks are already approved. Others claim payments are guaranteed next month. The truth sits somewhere in the middle. There are active discussions, budget modeling, and policy frameworks being reviewed, but nothing moves without legislative momentum and funding pathways. Still, the fact that these conversations are happening again tells us something important. Leadership recognizes the pressure you're feeling at home. They know inflation hasn't fully cooled for everyday families. They know wages haven't caught up, and they know voters are paying attention. Later in this video, we'll talk about exactly who may land inside the eligibility circle and what signs could signal real movement toward payment authorization. But first, you need to understand how these payments would even work this time around. How a $2,000 payment could actually be structured. When people hear stimulus, many assume it means automatic checks for everyone. But modern stimulus design has evolved. Lawmakers now focus on targeting funds to maximize economic impact while controlling budget exposure. That means income thresholds, household size considerations, and benefit overlaps could all play a role. A potential $2,000 structure could prioritize households under certain income limits, families with dependents, seniors on fixed incomes, and individuals receiving federal benefits. Some proposals also include regional cost of living adjustments or special relief for areas hit hardest by housing inflation or job volatility. Payment delivery would likely follow existing IRS and federal benefit databases. If you already received Social Security, SSI, SSDI, VA benefits, or filed recent tax returns with direct deposit, your payment could arrive faster than paper checks. Digital deposits reduce delays and administrative costs, which governments strongly prefer. Another layer involves timing. Even once approval happens, systems must process eligibility filters, verify banking information, and prevent fraud. That means real payments don't appear overnight. There's usually a rollout window that spreads deposits over several weeks. What matters for you is preparation. Keeping your tax information updated, banking details current, and mailing address accurate increases your chances of smooth delivery. Many people miss payments simply because outdated information blocks automated systems. And here's something most channels don't talk about. If funding gets approved late in a fiscal cycle, lawmakers may push faster distribution to stimulate immediate spending impact, which could accelerate timelines compared to past rounds. That's where suspense builds, because timing depends heavily on political urgency and economic pressure. Which brings us to the biggest question everyone asks. Who could qualify for the $2,000 payment? Eligibility is the heartbeat of this entire conversation, because if you qualify, this money could stabilize your month. If you don't, expectations need adjustment. While nothing is finalized yet, discussions suggest several likely qualifying groups. Middle-income households remain central because they drive consumer spending while still feeling financial strain. Lower-income families may qualify automatically due to higher vulnerability. Seniors living on fixed incomes are also frequently prioritized when inflation squeezes essential expenses. Households with children could receive additional weighting because food, childcare, and education costs continue rising faster than wages. Rent-burdened families may also be considered under targeted relief strategies. Income thresholds could mirror prior frameworks, meaning single filers, married couples, and heads of household would each have different caps. Phase-outs would likely reduce payments gradually rather than cutting people off suddenly. Another key factor is filing status. If you haven't filed taxes recently or your information is outdated, you may need to update records to avoid delays or eligibility confusion. If you receive federal benefits, you may not need to file anything at all, but verification processes still matter. The important takeaway? Don't assume. Prepare. Make sure your records reflect your current situation, so if approval happens, you're positioned correctly. But even more important is understanding when money could realistically land. When could the money actually arrive? Timing depends on three critical stages: proposal momentum, legislative approval, and administrative rollout. First comes political alignment. Leaders must agree on funding size, eligibility scope, and economic justification. That process can move quickly when public pressure builds, especially during election cycles or economic slowdowns. Second comes formal authorization. Once legislation passes or executive funding mechanisms activate, agencies begin building distribution pipelines immediately. Third comes processing and delivery. Direct deposits often begin first, followed by prepaid cards and paper checks. Optimistic timelines could place first deposits within several weeks of approval. Conservative estimates stretch into a few months depending on complexity and system readiness. The key is watching policy signals closely. Committee movement, budget votes, and official agency statements provide early clues long before payments arrive. And there's one major twist that could speed everything up dramatically. What this means for your family's stability. A $2,000 payment can stabilize groceries, utilities, rent, car repairs, medical bills, and savings. It can reduce stress and restore breathing room. Relief isn't luxury, it's security. Why staying informed protects your money. Misinformation spreads fast. Staying updated helps you avoid missed deadlines, scams, and confusion. Knowledge protects your wallet. You're not just watching news, you're protecting your family's future. Relief may be coming, but preparation and awareness determine how smoothly it reaches you. Stay connected, stay informed, and stay proactive. Your wallet deserves it, your family deserves it, and your future depends on it. Subscribe, stay alert, and never miss critical financial updates that could change your life.